Hello, friends online. I wanted to share a little bit more that I've read of that book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. And he talks about how, um, lasting habit change, rather, is like amplified by the people that we have in our lives. He identified three different types of people, basically, that influence, basically our identity, what's normalized, and what becomes habits for us. And so he said the people we keep close to us, which I feel like this is pretty straightforward and kind of common knowledge. The people you keep around you you're going to have habits similar to them. So if you are hanging out with people who don't work and have substance addictions, you're going to be more likely to have that kind of behavior normalized and fall prey to it yourself. Whereas if you are someone who is hanging out with a bunch of people who go to, vegan health food stores and do yoga and bicycling, you're more likely to adopt fitness habits and stuff like that, rather than, being the only, drug user in the group of, fitness buffs. And so it kind of makes sense. The people we surround ourselves with, it's not it's just part of pack mentality, I guess. And again, the normalization of behaviors, what we keep around us, becomes normal to us, and so we emulate what we believe is normal. And then he talks about how the masses, what the masses normalize, basically will influence our habit structures as well. So how we have normalized in society to, have personal hygiene. Most people choose to brush their teeth because if you don't, people will realize that you don't brush your teeth, and it'll be a weird social thing because everyone does it, if you don't wipe after you go poop, or if you poop outside, these are just things that they're not normalized in American society, at least. And so if you do these things that are not part of what the masses or the many are doing, you feel a level of social I'm gonna put this social ostracization. I don't know. I want to say ostrachization, but that's not right. It doesn't have to do with an ostracization. Sorry, I barely English. But and then the last group of people he talks about having weight over our habits are what he calls the powerful, but I really think a better term would have been the people we view as successful. So the people we idolize, the people we think of as being superior to ourselves, which the people you idolize, the people you want to emulate, those are going to be the kinds of people that shape your habits. And so it's if you really idolize someone from a punk band, you might end up getting a mohawk, every couple of weeks or something, or make a habit of checking out your local record store or something like that. The people that we see as influential on others and as successful and happy, the things we want to be, those kinds of habits that they have are going to be the ones that we are striving for as well, which is kind of a no-brainer again, but not really something I had personally thought of, because I'm not someone who really keeps up too much with celebrity gossip. I don't know who's in the top richest 5 people. I don't keep up with any of that stuff. It doesn't really matter to me. But so, because I had that kind of disconnect when I was reading this chapter that he wrote, because he wrote The Powerful, and I was like, well, I don't really like the people in power in this world. I don't want to be anything like them. And so the more I was reading and what he was putting, his reasonings for people liking the powerful was basically successful people, or what you see as success. So if you don't see success as financial success, it's part sometimes of success, but I think true success doesn't really have anything to do with finances. So I'm not going to be looking for the richest person in the world as someone I look up to influence my kind of habits, right? If anything, I'm going to be like, I'm not gonna, it's not going to be on my radar. But yeah, so the people we keep close, the majority, and the influentially successful people are going to all have these kind of different effects on our attitudes and towards habit change through our sense of identity, basically. Because I don't know if you haven't watched what I was talking about before with this book, like, lasting habit changes most often come from a shift in self-identity. So if you identify as a fat person that needs to work out, chances are you're likely going to continue to struggle working out because you see yourself as a fat person. But if you instead start to try and consciously cultivate this identity of someone who cares about their body, someone who works out, you're going to be more naturally inclined and motivated to find opportunities to prove that that's true to yourself. And it kind of becomes like a positive feedback loop. And so as we shift self-identity, it's important to remember that we are not the only factors on our sense of identity, obviously. Environment is a huge factor in how we tend to see ourselves, and part of environment is the social structure that we are, one, surrounded with intimately, our close people, surrounded by on a larger scale, and then who is kind of leading the social hierarchy in our, minds, who has our social respect, basically. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of that. Again, the book I'm reading is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and yes, I know it is taking me a very long time to read. I did not read for like a couple weeks, but that's okay, because even though this isn't a habit yet, I am still working on integrating it into my natural occurrences so that it becomes a more likely habit. So hopefully by the time I finish the book and I start to read another book, I'll be better at reading that book. But yeah, I hope everyone has a good day, and if you're in St. Louis area, stay safe. I know it's been stormy today, so yeah, just don't drive into anything that looks flooded, because it's probably flooded and you won't make it through. Alright, have a good one, guys. Bye.